straight into my message. I have this thought in a week, right, that, growing up is hard work. Okay, one day, right, you could feel like a kid, right? You just have to work hard and play hard, right? Study hard, play hard. The next day, then suddenly you are expected to act like an adult. You have to make life choices like what to do in the future. And sometimes you just want to hit the pause button in life for a second so that you can catch a breath. Okay, how many of you can relate? Okay, even though you might be like 14, 15 years old, you can still relate to this, okay? Now, one of my favorite Bible verses while growing up is this, right? It's in 1 Corinthians 13, 11 to 13. It's on the screen as well. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "When I was a child, I used to speak like a child, reason like a child, and think like a child. But now that I've become a man or just a grown-up, I've put an end to childish things. Now we see a reflection in the mirror, then we see face to face. Now I know partially, but then in the future, I will know completely in the same way that I have been completely known. Now faith, hope, and love remain, these three things, and the greatest of these is love." So the guy who wrote this is this person called Apostle Paul, right? And he's saying that right now, we don't see the full picture of life. Okay, if you do, let me know. But even though we don't know everything yet, God already knows us completely. And that's not just a nice thought to have, that's something that we can experience for ourselves today. So I want to start with one big thought that I have that summarizes the Bible verse earlier about growing up and knowing God, okay? Is that this idea that the more I know God, the more I discover I am known by God, and the clearer His purpose for my life becomes. And that's what I want for you too, to know God in such a way that helps you see yourself more clearly and why you're here on earth. So over the next few weeks, right, during Friend Zone, I'll be doing a mini-series called Faith, Hope, and Love. And we're going to learn more about who God is and how He relates to us. And today we're going to start with the first step, which is faith. So turn to your friend and say, faith. Now, let me ask you, right, what comes to mind when you hear the word faith? Confidence? Courage? Hear a lot of faith. Okay, some people think maybe like faith is like blind, right? It's just like you're wishing really hard, like positive thinking. But faith is more powerful than that. Now, another thought, right? Have you ever experienced this, right? You rush to the bus stop, whether it's down your house or near your school, right? And then the bus just leaves right in front of you. You don't even like, stop, the bus just go. Or you bought bubble tea, right? But then you drop it when it's still full. Like, dang. Or you study all night and the one topic you didn't revise, right, come out in the exam. It's not all the students like, that's me, right? You see, life can feel like one big game of luck sometimes, right? And you see, some people depend on luck in life, right? Like, lucky or unlucky law, right? Some depend on confidence, right? If I believe myself enough, I can handle it. But some people choose faith, trusting someone bigger than themselves, trusting God. You see, here's the thing. Luck feels good. It feels good to be lucky. I want to be lucky. But you can't depend on it every time. Confidence is good. But what happens when you face something you can't control? Now, faith is different. Faith says, God, I trust you to hold my life even when I feel heavy, even when I don't know what's coming next. And here's why this matters, okay? Faith gives you the courage when life is scary, right? Someone said courage. Like when you have to present in class and your hands are shaking, you need some faith. Faith gives you peace when your life is a bit messy, a bit turbulent. Like maybe at home when your parents are fighting, like awkward, right? I don't know what to do. And you feel caught in the middle. You need faith for those situations. Faith also gives you hope when life feels stuck. Like when you keep trying to be better but nothing seems to change. Now, faith isn't just for those who are very religious people, okay? Faith is for anyone who wants to live with courage, with peace, and hope, and even when life feels uncertain. So the title of my message today is God Sees. Because faith starts by knowing this, that the God who made you actually sees you. Yes. Now turn to the next person again beside you, say, God sees you.
God sees you.
So let's look at an amazing story in John 1 about Jesus and a man named Nathanael. Okay, a little context before I read the passage is that Jesus was just starting, his ministry, right? He's gathering his team. Like, if our comparison would be like Nick Fury in Avengers, right? Trying to put together everyone, right? Recruiting. Inviting ordinary people to follow him. And that's where we meet this dude called Nathanael, right? John 1, verse 43. And it says, the next day, Jesus wanted to go into Galilee and he found Philip. Jesus said to him, follow me. Philip was from Bethsaida, then the hometown of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael, this guy, and said to him, we have found the one Moses wrote about in the law and the prophets, Jesus, Joseph's son from Nazareth. Nathanael responded, can anything from Nazareth be good? Right? But Philip said, come and see. Now Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said about him, here is a genuine Israelite in whom there is no deceit. Nathanael asked Jesus, how do you know me? Right? I think the first time meeting you, I haven't come to you yet, you already say like, this person, no deceit, right? Jesus answered, before Philip called you, I saw you under the fig tree. Nathanael replied, Rabbi, you are God's son, you are king of Israel. Jesus answered, do you believe because I told you that I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than this. I assure you that you will see heaven open and God's angels going up to heaven and down to earth on the human one. Now, I'm going to break this down. This is our main Bible passage for today. And I love this story because Nathanael starts out very doubtful, right? Very skeptical. Right? Can anything good come from Nazareth? For us today, maybe it's, can anything good come from Yishun? Okay, joking. Love y'all. But this is what Jesus says. He meets him where he is, shows him that he is seen, and invites him to trust. So, before faith is something we do for God, it's something we discover about God. Which brings me to my first point today is that God sees you. In verse 48, Nathanael asked him, how do you know me? Jesus answered, before Philip called you, I saw you under the fig tree. And Nathanael replied, suddenly changed, right? Rabbi, you are God's son, you are king of Israel. Now this is powerful because Jesus didn't just meet Nathanael in public. He saw him in his private moment under the fig tree. You see, back in those days, a fig tree was a common place for quiet reflection and prayer. It's a private moment. You want to pray to God. And in other words, Jesus saw what was on Nathanael's heart before Nathanael said a single word to this guy. Now, this to me is a big deal because we live in a time it feels like we are always being watched. Okay, follow me here. Not just by cameras, but by each other as well. And he has created what people now call a performative culture. Okay, it's trending now, right? You might have seen trending videos on Instagram or TikTok about performative males as well. I don't know why it's suddenly come out here, right? Guys who seem to curate a whole identity around drinking matcha, reading self-improvement books, standing up for feminism, basically trying to prove that they are different, that they are deep and socially aware. Now, for youths, it could also be a performative youth culture. Like you feel like you must take certain subjects in school, go to premium tuition centers, learn to speak 5 languages, join all the right CCAs, drink $7 to $8 bubble tea every day. Just last week, it was funny because I was out with the youth here, right? We met primary school kids with like Labubu attached to their bag. Or maybe some of them, they have like nice curated social media feed. Basically, you just want to look like you have everything together, no matter what age you are at. Now, here's a caveat, okay? It's okay to enjoy nice things. It's great to learn and grow. Some people genuinely love studying hard or learning new languages or drinking matcha and standing up for feminism. That's really awesome. But here's the problem. Sometimes we do it not because we love it, but because we feel pressured to perform, to look different, to seek validation, to fit in with what everyone else is doing. And that pressure can hurt us more than we realize. That we become overly conscious about how we look, we talk, and act. So much so that we feel paralyzed even when we're about to do something good. Just 2 weeks ago, right, Ashley shared a local study here in Singapore, right, that it's not that our youths aren't good or kind, but many of them feel embarrassed to even show kindness. That to me is shocking, right? And why? Because it feels like there's always a camera out there filming you, watching you. Or someone out there in the corner of the eye look at you and judge you. And they either freeze and do nothing, or they act under pressure in a way that they don't like. And I'll share with you, and I get it because I've been guilty of doing it as well. Recently I found out my niece, she's P2 this year already. She started watching K-pop Demon Hunters. And she loves some of the songs there. Okay? So I thought it would be cute for her to sing one of them, and then I recorded it. But the first thing she did was say, after I recorded it, it was like, let me see the video first before we save it. And even though I casually shared it, I never post on Instagram, I just casually shared with some of the youths in church, right? She found out and she felt so self-conscious about how she looked. You see, that moment made me realize something about our culture, is that our generation and the youth are growing up hyper-aware. Not because we are addicted to social media, but because we live in a world where even the adults, without ill meaning, we are always posting, sharing, recording all the time. We've created a culture where everyone feels like they have to be on stage 24/7. And if we live in that pressure long enough, we start to lose ourselves. We stop doing good things simply because they are good. We do them because people are watching. That's our first reason. Or we don't do them because we're afraid of looking silly. And deep down, we're left wondering, does anyone actually see the real me? You see, that's why Jesus said to Nathanael, it's so freeing for Nathanael. He says, before Philip called you, I saw you. You see, listen, God sees you. Not just the version you put online, not just the version you show to your friends. He sees the real you. Your thoughts, your worries and anxieties, your struggles, your hopes. So again, turn to the person next to you, say, God sees the real you. Now, here's the good news. God doesn't see you to shame you or control you. He sees you to set you free. Right? You think about playing hide and seek. Hiding is fun at first, right? But if you hide too long, it can get a bit scary, don't you think so? You feel claustrophobic and you wonder if anyone will ever find you. But the moment when someone sees you and shouts, I found you, what do you feel? I mean, you lost, but there's relief, there's joy, and there's freedom. You see, being seen by God is not scary, it's safe. And when you realize you are fully seen by Him, you can stop hiding, you can stop pretending, you can finally breathe in your life. So, here's the thing about performative culture. Growing up in such culture can make you feel like you are constantly on stage, like every move you make is being judged. But Jesus' words remind us, I saw you under the fig tree. He's saying, I see you when no one else does. And I still choose you. You see, this is not about God spying on you to catch you doing something wrong. I say, aha, I found you, right? It's about a God that's seeing the real you, the version that doesn't have to pretend. That you don't have to keep performing for God's approval. You don't have to hide the parts of you that you feel is messy. You can rest knowing that God already sees you and sees the whole picture and still love you. So for everyone here, right, I want to challenge you, right, that tonight, before you sleep, right, just take one quiet minute. Like you don't even have to close your eyes or I don't know how you pray. Just talk in your heart. Say something like, God, if you're real, thanks for letting me get through today, this week. God, if you are there, thanks for that one friend whom I got to know today. Or even just, God, I don't know you yet, but thank you for seeing me. Listen, faith starts where pretending stops. And sometimes that first step of faith is just letting yourself be seen. Now, if God sees the real me, what does He actually see, right? He don't see just your flaws, but number two, God sees the best in you. So we go back to verse 46, right? Nathanael responded, can anything from Nazareth be good? Philip said, come and see. Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said about him, here is a genuine Israelite in whom there is no deceit. Now, pause and think about this, right? What had Nathaniel just said? He was skeptical. He literally just threw shade at Jesus, right? Can anything good come from Nazareth? If this was a TikTok roast, right, Jesus would have clapped back, right? And like, bro, you dare say about Nazareth. But Jesus didn't. Instead, he did quite the opposite, right? He called out the good in Nathaniel. He said, here's someone who speaks honestly. And I like that about you. You see, God calls out the good first, not the bad. This is so important for us to get. Because a lot of us, we are used to only hearing what's wrong with us. Even we tell that to ourselves sometimes, right? Like, you need to work harder. Like, why can't you be more like, your siblings? Why are you always distracted? You see, Jesus doesn't start there. He calls out the good first. He sees Nathaniel's honesty, even though it comes out of a little skeptical, right? But he affirms it. And that is what God is like with you. He sees your honesty, he sees your kindness, he sees your potential, even when others, or sometimes we, overlook it. And he sees not just who you are now, but who you are becoming. So I want to share with you a funny story, right? So I think a few years back, one day, I alighted at Kembangan MRT. How many of you know there's a Kembangan MRT? Okay, it's in the east, okay, somewhere in the east. So I alighted at the MRT to pick up an item from a carousel seller. Now, the place was quite far into the estate, and I was really not familiar, okay? I only exist in the MRT area. So I have to walk to this neighborhood, and the first instinct is to open Google Maps. Okay? Now, Google suggested a route that went around this giant field. Okay, it's like another 15 to 20 minutes walk. I looked at the map and thought, okay, learn in school, right? Pythagoras theorem. If I just cut across the field, I can save 10 minutes. Right? Wow, genius moment. I thought like, wow, I got it. So I went for it, and I did cut through, right? So at first, like, it was great, shortcut life, right? But halfway through, right, the ground got a little bit softer. In the middle, then suddenly, squish. My shoes started sinking into the mud. And mind you, I was wearing, not these shoes, but light-colored sneakers, and I was wearing jeans also. So it was like, oh, splash. Then my shoes were brown, my socks were wet, my room was like, yeah, we'll get it. You see, here's the thing, right? Sometimes shortcuts can look smart until you realize they cost you more than you thought. Now, I realized that if I had just taken the longer route, right, recommended route, yes, it would have taken me more time, but I wouldn't have ended up dirty and frustrated. Now, how many of you have ever tried to take a shortcut in life and it backfired? Right? Maybe you tried to fix a fight with your friend by gossiping about it first, and then it made things worse. Or maybe you tried to, I know everyone does this before, copy someone's homework to save time. Right? No, it's teamwork. It's teamwork. And then you got caught by your teacher. So, you know why we do this is because we want control. We think we know it all. We want a faster way. But here's the thing. God often sees the better route. The one that leads to growth, not just your own convenience. Listen, when God calls out the good in you, He's not saying, good job. He's inviting you to grow in it. To become kinder, more courageous, more loving, more patient. And that He knows that you are capable of it. And sometimes that growth means that He has to sometimes reroute you in life. Right? Google says recalculating. God does the same for our lives. Not to punish us, but to guide us back on track. So take a moment to think about this. Where in your life do you keep trying to cut through the field, right? Where, when you find yourself getting deeper and deeper into the mess. No, maybe it's how you deal with stress, right? You scroll TikTok until 2 a.m. Like 10 p.m., let's scroll one time, 2 a.m. already. Instead of resting for school the next day. Maybe it's your friendships, avoiding difficult conversations instead of talking it out. Maybe it's your faith, wanting God to fix things quickly instead of learning to grow through them. Now, here's the good news. God doesn't shame you for taking the wrong path. He doesn't write you off. Instead, he says, I see the good in you, and I still see what you can become. Let's try that again. Listen, faith is trusting God's route, even when it feels longer, because his route leads you to your best self. So here's my challenge for you this week. Before you make a decision, whether it's big or small in the week, just pause and say quietly in your heart that, God, if you are real, help me see the better way. Especially this period, I know it's the exam period, right? Especially when you feel overwhelmed by your studies, or when you have to make certain decisions that affect your friendships or future. Right? Just that simple prayer, that one line is faith in action. That you don't have to be super spiritual to pray that. You just need to be open. And for those of you who already know how to pray, ask God this week, God, help me become the version you see in me, not just the version I settle to be. So God doesn't just see the best in you, he invites you to see it too and live from it. Which is my third point. God wants you to see what he sees. So we go back to the Bible once more, right? In verse 50, Jesus answered, do you believe, right? Do you, Nathanael, believe because I told you that I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than this. So Jesus was telling Nathanael, this moment, this conversation is only the beginning. There's more ahead of you. You see, God sees more in you than you can see right now. So think about it like a video game, right? When you start off a video game, you're level 1, right? You clumsy, nothing in your inventory, one very weak, still figuring things out. But the game is designed to take you to level 99, where you unlock your best skills. So here's the thing, God already sees you. That level 99 self, the version of you that is courageous, that is kind, that is purposeful, even while you're still at level 1, or level 2, or level 3. He doesn't just see your mistakes or your struggles today, he sees your potential, your growth, and who you can be when you trust him. Now, here's the thing. Becoming that version of you doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you keep showing up with God, not just the big public moments, but in the private moments too. Right? Remember where Jesus first saw Nathanael? Under the fig tree, a quiet place. That's where Nathanael was real with God. That was where Jesus called out his potential. And that's what brings us to a powerful thought. God doesn't just want to see you, he wants to invite you to see what he sees. So back when I was in uni, I had a film critic assignment and I watched this classic film called 12 Angry Men. I don't know why must be men, but okay, it's an old film, black and white. Now, it's about a group of jurors deciding whether a young boy is guilty of murder. So at first, 11 out of 12 of them believed that this boy is guilty, and they wanted to end the discussion and just pack up, go home. But there was one juror, he doesn't have a real name there, he's just called juror number 8, who believed that there was more to the story. He saw something everyone else missed, and the thing is that he didn't yell and argue back. He didn't manipulate, he just invited them to look at the evidence again. And throughout this film, slowly, one by one, the other jurors began to see what he saw. And by the end, all 12 of them were convinced that this boy was innocent. You see, when we see through the right perspective, it changes the way we act. In other words, when we see through God's perspective, it transforms us. And that's what exactly Jesus was offering Nathanael, a new perspective. Right? This juror number 8 in 12 Angry Men invited the other jurors to see the boy differently. Jesus was inviting Nathanael to see himself and God differently. One conversation moved Nathanael from doubt to, you are the Son of God. That's the power of a new perspective. You see, faith is the shift from seeing through our own eyes to seeing through God's eyes. Now, Nathanael really did see something greater things, the greater things that Jesus mentioned. In his life, he went on to follow Jesus as one of his close disciples. He saw Jesus feed thousands, heal the sick, calm storms, and even rise from the dead. But here's something else I find fascinating. Nathanael wasn't one of the famous disciples. he didn't write a letter or gospel that is published in the Bible. You hear he mentioned here, then after that gone already. We hardly hear his name after this chapter, except when he quietly shows up as one of the faithful disciples in a group setting. Like we're like, oh, that's so sad, right? No recognition. But to me, I find that's really beautiful. You see, Nathanael was likely someone who really honors God with his private life. Right? Jesus first met him under the fig tree, the quiet moment. And when I think about this, I go like, maybe that's where Nathanael kept meeting God, in that secret where no one else was watching. He probably didn't follow Jesus for the attention or for the applause. He may have simply treasured this sacred moment with him. And that was enough. You see, everyone here, especially you, God does some of his best works in secret in you, where you can be real with him. And sometimes the Bible defines faith as this idea called the quiet confidence, right? Sometimes we think faith has to be like loud and dramatic. Oh, I believe it will happen. I will pass the exam, yeah. But real faith often grows in private. It's not about proving yourself to the world. It's about trusting God with your world. You see, quiet confidence means you don't have to panic even when things feel uncertain. You don't have to compare yourself with everyone else in school. You can be at peace because you know God is working behind the scenes. Quiet confidence is when you stop trying to control everything and start trusting God with everything. So here's what I want to challenge you this week. Find your own fig tree moments, your place. Okay, it doesn't have to be a literal tree. It can be anywhere that you feel safe and honest. And here's how you can start, even if you're new here, to again take a couple of minutes each day to pause and think about your day and just simply talk to God quietly and go, God, if you're real, help me see what you see in my situation. The things that I'm struggling in right now, the stress that I'm facing, the anxiousness that I'm facing. Or simply say, thank you, God, for this one good thing today. It could be a laugh with a friend, something silly. It could be surviving through a tough test. Or just making it through a stressful day. You see, faith starts with one small step. Right? Just saying yes to let God show you what he sees. So we've been talking about faith today, right? Not just as a religious idea, but as something that can change how you live every single day. So remember this, I started off. The more you know God, the more you will discover that you're fully known by God. And then the clearer his purpose is for your life. You see, faith is not just crossing your fingers, hope for the best, right? Hope for the best, exam, hope for the best. Faith is trusting that God really sees you, that he sees the best in you, and that he invites you to see what he sees. So that you can grow to the person you were meant to be. So here's what we've learned today. God sees you, right? Not to control you, but to free you. God sees the best in you. He calls out your potential and leads you to become it. God invites you to see what he sees so that you can step into his bigger story for your life.